Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you my spoiler-free, I'm not going to really start to spoil anything, just my general impressions in my review of CyberPunk 2077. Now, CyberPunk 2077 was supposed to come out a long time ago. It's been delayed almost, I think, 3 times. It's been delayed 3 times, and it is the latest CD Projekt Red game. And CD Projekt Red, if you don't know who they are the minds behind the Witcher franchise. These guys have been around for a little bit, but they've kind of become synonymous with quality. Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games of all time, point blank period. It is the greatest, in my opinion, it is the greatest open world game of all time, and Witcher 3 in general is just a stunning game itself. It's a masterpiece. Witcher 3 is a masterpiece. It won Game of the Year, it swept awards, it was one of the most, it was a great game. It was just fantastic. So there was a lot of pressure on the next project they were going to work on, which was rumored even before Witcher 3 had came out. And CD Projekt Red is in the same category with, say, a Rockstar in terms of the fact that they like to take their time and work on their projects. Just like Rockstar, they'll take upwards to 6 to 8 years to put out a single project. Because Witcher 3 came out, I believe, in 2013 or 12. So that was a long time ago. That's either 7 or 6 years ago. Just to kind of tell you how much time and care they like to put into their projects, just they want it to be great. Like when CD Projekt Red's working on something, you know it's gonna be good. And Cyberpunk 2077 is no exception. Generally speaking, though, the game has me very conflicted. I'm gonna give you my score because then I want to work my way back from here. I think this game is an 8.5. A solid 8.5. It's a great game. The world is interesting. There's a lot of interesting characters. There's a lot of fun side quests. There's a lot of fun add-ons. There's a lot of fun things you can do. The actual main story is fascinating. Keanu Reeves is fun in this. He's not the scene stealer that I thought he was going to be. Keanu's not quite as great as you think he would be, but he's still breathtaking. He's still awesome, and when he shows up and gives you his opinion on certain topics, you listen to him. It's cool. It's cool. It's a cool part of it. Like I said, the main story itself is excellent. It's a great main story. There's like I said, a lot to do. Interesting world, interesting lore in this world. Like I said, it's a lot going for this game. Graphically, it looks fantastic. And there are a bunch of other things that are great about this game. The map, while not Witcher 3 level of sizes, is a big map. You don't really have to grind to get things either. The way that the system works is really fluid in how you upgrade yourself and how you get certain things. So that's a plus. And like I said, you can spend hours just getting lost in this game. I'm telling you, I put about 40 hours into this game as of right now, and literally just 40 hours, and there was still, when I decided to just end the game and just beat the main story so that I could review it. But after 40 hours, there was still a bunch of things I hadn't done. And a bunch of things that could be done. But I decided to beat the game to get one of the endings so that way I can, talk about it now. But yeah, the game's great. I give it an 8.5. At times it's a 9, but it never quite reaches the levels of a masterpiece. It never quite reaches masterpiece status for me. It doesn't reach. I don't think it's as good as Witcher, and I don't think it's as graphically. And I don't think, like, to me, the best two video games that I've played in the last 7 years would have to be Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption. I consider, like, it's not like this game isn't in the masterclass department. It's not in The Witcher 3. It's not in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not in that department. This game to me is more in line with Fallout 4. And in terms of the hype and in terms of what it delivered. Because for my money, Fallout 4, I still think Fallout 4 is a great game. I still enjoy Fallout 4. But when you look back on it, you kind of realize that it's not as great as you thought it was going to be. Fallout 4 was nowhere near as great as you thought it was going to be. Still a great game, but it was nowhere near as great as you imagined it was going to be. And this game kind of fell in that same hole for me, Whereas I thought certain aspects of the game were going to be better, and they weren't. I thought certain things of the game would be better. For instance, just minor spoilers if you didn't want to know anything, but then while you're watching the review. But in the beginning, you get to choose 3 different origins, basically. Kind of like in Mass Effect, because if you've ever played the original Mass Effect game, you know you get to choose the origin for Shepard. Like something along the lines of Lone Survivor and something else and something else. There's like 3 different ones. And it's supposed to, like, you know, and it's supposed to be your origin. It's supposed to be how you got selected to be the next human Spectre in that game, in that first Mass Effect game. And they do something similar here. The problem is they don't go far enough with it. The problem is it's only a couple tad bits more important than the Shepard thing in the first game, because really it doesn't change much. It does though. Now understand this, because some people are going to argue with me about this. It's not that it doesn't add some different things to it, because yes, there are certain dialogue. I did the first time play around as a nomad, and every once in a while the nomad dialogue option would pop up, so you could say something that, you know, relates to your backstory as a nomad. But but generally speaking, it's gonna be the same stuff. You're gonna meet the same exact people. You're gonna go through the same exact story. Hell, I just started over again as Corpo, and I was highly disappointed on how short of the time period you were in the Corpo. Like a spoiler alert, I was thinking, like, when I started the Corpo one, I was fascinated. I was like, oh my god, like, it was, like, literally, when I started it, it was raising my fucking bar up a couple notches. I was like, I might have to give this a 9. Because I was like, oh, cool. Oh, man, you have this different relationship, and this different relationship, and this different relationship. Oh, you have this business, and this. You might be dressed different. Maybe the apartment. Maybe you'll be in a different apartment. But no, it ended up it ended up cutting back down, like you were only Corpo for like 30 minutes, and then afterwards, you basically were in the same exact spot you would have been if you were a nomad. Which kind of bothered me, because I was like, well, fuck, man. It just, backstory don't even matter. It's just like, it just gives me an option. It gives me a different kind of optional dialogue window, because the actual story itself is just the same from that point. It's just the same. So like, it was kind of disappointing. Like I said, it was very disappointing. Not to mention they give you a bunch of money that you get at the beginning, but you don't even get to spend it. So like I say, you end up in the same location no matter what. No matter what, you end up in the same location. You sound the same. You act the same. You just start in different places. The only thing that really changes is how you met Jack. That's about it. It's how you met Jack. And that was very disappointing. Not to mention that the main story itself is not that long. No, it's long. It'll take you about 20 hours to beat it, but that's about it. It's like about 20 hours. So that's how much it took. I know I said I played the game for 40 hours, but at a certain point when I had got it on, when I started playing it on last Friday, when I started playing it, it dawned on me, like, I'm playing it, and then by Sunday, I realized, I'm like, I'm about to beat this main story right now. And I was like, okay, I need to stop and go off and do other things. And that's what I did. I could have beat the game in about 17 hours. Because it's not that long of a campaign, it really isn't. And if you know what you're doing, like if you're not going around, dicking around, doing a bunch of other things, you can just zoom right through it. And, you know, it was a bit disappointing, because one of the things I loved about Witcher 3 was the length of its campaign, the variety of things you did in the campaign, the variety of locations you went to in the campaign. This game isn't like that. This game, the campaign, while fun and great, I think the campaign is great, it is not that long. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's not a short campaign. It's something like, I was kind of speed running, so it'd probably take every casual person about 24 hours to beat the game. You can beat the game in like 3 days. 3 days if you're trying. You can beat the main campaign in 3 days if you're just, you know, taking your time. You can beat it in 2 if you're trying. And that's not short. You know, it took me about a day. Like, it's longer than Outer Worlds. How about that? It's longer than Outer Worlds, but not quite as long as like Red Dead. Not as long as Grand Theft Auto games. Not as long as The Witcher. There's a couple games I could probably like put on that list of like, this game is long, but it's not quite a lengthy campaign, you know, main story. But other than that, like I said, there's tons of things. But the big problem is, which is a problem, I have to acknowledge it. It's in the news right now. Sony just took the game off of its you know, stores because of this, and I've heard something along the lines of CD Projekt Red had to refund over $1 billion in money in refunds. and that's the glitches. The glitches are pretty bad, at least for me on my Xbox. They're pretty bad, which you know, it's not that, which is it's to be expected. And a lot of people kind of talked about Bethesda and like no, Ubisoft and like the Assassin's Creed games, but I had never had glitches in those games like I have in this game. I've had things like the wall, like a wall, like I'm supposed to go to a location and there's nothing but a wall, but then the wall glitches back to place and then there's actually a building. I had my car sink through the ground. I've had someone call me and their face gets like, and you know, you get the screen on the side of you of their face talking to you. I have someone call me and their face gets stuck there, so then I can't actually have any more dialogue. I've had my cars, I've summoned one car and two cars showed up and crashed into each other. I've had a ton of glitches. I've had people disappearing. I'm supposed to talk to someone and no one's there. There's a lot of glitches I've had. I've had a ton of glitches. I've had some glitches, which I don't mind glitches. I can deal with it. It's kind of a fun thing. But I've had glitches that outright just stop the game for me. Multiple glitches that outright stop my progression. I could not move forward anymore. And I'm so accustomed to glitches happening and them just working themselves out. Like, because that's what, like, you know, for all the glitches that, you know, Assassin's Creed has, for the most part, they glitch, and then they just work themselves out, and then it's like, okay, we're ready now. But this game, man, like, it glitches, and it's just, like, game wrecking. I'm just crossing my fingers every time I play it. I'm just like, I hope this isn't some crazy game wrecking glitch, but it might be. But, you know, overall, like I said, this game's at 8.5. It's still a great game. The world is fantastic. The main story is great. Keanu is good. There are a lot of good voice acting in it. There's a lot of good characters in it. You can, the love stories are a little limiting. The love stories are a little limiting because you can only go but so far. Because like if you decide to be like there's only one woman if you're a dude, there's only one woman you can romance, so it's kind of limiting in that way. But like I said, it's still a fun game. It has a great story. Graphically, it's still gorgeous. Maybe it wasn't the game. It wasn't as good as people are hope it would be. But it's still a good game. It's still a great game at times. So thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please comment below. What did you think of CyberPunk 2077? Did you enjoy yourself? Were you disappointed? Or did you love it more than I did? Comment below. Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.